Come on, Freddie. That girl's too old for you, man. What the fuck you doing, Freddie? How's everybody doing? Scarpad. Scarpad Sci-fi Sojourns. And tonight we're doing a movie I haven't seen, so I don't remember it, since 1999. And that's Wing Commander. Now, at the end of the 90s, there was all sorts of video game movies popping off. You had your Silent Hills, you had your Resident Evils, you had your Dooms, you had your Super Mario Brothers, and you had your Wing Commander. Wing Commander was a space simulation franchise that started in 1990 and ended in 2007, yielded 10 games, and it was big on cinematics. So they had one of the first games that involved having like a whole movie story like Last of Us with, CGI characters. Even Mark Hamill got involved, and if you go up on YouTube, you can see that. But in 1999, the maker of the game, Chris Roberts, who started at Origin, then went into Electronic Arts, ended up directing this movie. And like the video game, it came out kind of convoluted because the video game itself morphed and changed. Characters changed, plots changed, even in the video game. And in this movie, we see the things with the pilgrims. We'll discuss that. That's not even in the game. But to discuss this space-faring movie, we have Dylan from Dylan's Horror Show. How you doing, Dylan?
What up, brother?
How's it going? It seems like you're far back again tonight, Dylan. You're on your own webcam or what? I see you.
Bro.
You're back there. And really up close and personal.
Not allowed to lean back in the chair. Not allowed to lean back like a low rider.
Relax. Lean back and relax.
I was just gonna say, let Dylan relax. He's making me want to chill, man. Like you gotta be comfortable.
It's
right.
link. So this movie, it stars Freddie Prinze Jr., whatever happened to him, and Matthew Lillard. Seems like they made like 40.
Matthew Lillard, man.
You know what?
He made 40. They made like 4 or 5 movies back in the day together.
But it seems like they were kind of like nerds, like us, like fans of like Matthew Lillard. Obviously, was more horror. It seems like, and Freddie Prinze is more like comics and Star Wars and video games.
I know what you did last summer.
He had his. They had a nice little I was just gonna say they were both in some hot '90s horror movies. Come to think about it,
Lillard was a better actor because he had comedic tones, where Freddie was more of like
one note kind of, but he's not bad, but
very one note and just a good looking guy,
one
note, but not a bad actor.
And he had his father's name. His father was a big time comedian actor who died. Well, Freddie Prinze was in a show called Chico and the Man. You don't remember Chico and the Man?
I do not.
And in the middle of Chico and the Man, it was made by the same guys, All in the Family and all that. In the middle of Chico and the Man, he took his own life. He committed suicide. And he was an up-and-coming actor. He probably would have really went. He was a stand-up comedian. He was really good. So, and Freddie Prinze was obviously his son. And I think he got but he took off on his own in the 90s. And then we had
a little bit of nepotism.
Yeah, Saffron Burrows, who was in that shark movie there. What was that, Big Blue Sea or Deep Blue Sea or whatever that was?
Deep Blue Sea.
So 1999, Wing Commander. What I thought about this movie, it borrowed a lot. Obviously, I think it borrowed a lot from like Battlestar Galactica. It borrowed a lot from Star Wars, obviously. It borrowed a lot from a lot of different movies. But I don't have a lot to say about it. I thought it was an okay movie. I thought the effects were pretty damn good for the time. This obviously was a mix of CGI and the practical effects. Obviously, I didn't think the love story really worked. It was kind of shoehorned in there. But there were some nice moments between Matthew Lillard and the girl he fell in love with and the Space Marines. But the story
what is the plot of this movie?
But the story was I was about to get to that. I was about to get to that.
I was literally I don't know what the plot
of this
movie.
Let me explain the plot.
I restarted it thinking I'm missing something.
The plot of this movie The plot of this movie is similar to Starship Commanders, but Starship Troopers, but Starship Troopers is better.
It can't be.
So what happens is there's a race called the Kathinthi, something like that, Kazinzi.
Yeah.
Okay, and they look kind of fucked up because they look like cats, but not really. I'll tell you the reason why that is. This race,
we didn't even say anything in this fucking movie.
You barely saw them on screen. And why did you barely see them? Lawsuits. These animals in the game were called Cathinthi.
Yeah.
And back in the 60s, a sci-fi author called Larry Niven wrote a bunch of books with a alien race of feline type cat characters called the Kazin. And in the games, they started off as feline cat characters, but then they kind of evolved. They changed them to look a little bit different. And same thing in the movie. And then Larry Niven went on and did a Star Trek animated episode where he wrote about the Kazin, but he was suing the game people for a while. So yeah, the game really is. They took the basic premise of the game, which is these aliens coming through and trying to find a way to get to Earth. But there's no backstory on these. But the interesting thing is there's really no backstory on the ones in Starship Troopers either. But those are developed more because you see them more.
Yeah, but we know. I mean, at least in the movie, we know the mission statement is they're trying to take over Earth. That's a little
right.
Like not conveyed well in this movie.
And then they throw in the mix this whole idea that Freddie Prinze's mother was some kind of psychic type person, the Pilgrims they call them.
Yeah,
because they had the ability.
Gypsy, space
they
gypsies.
had the ability. You almost call it like a force ability, where they could navigate in space without being able to having technology. That's never really developed all that well in here. Except other than have fights about it for no reason.
It wasn't developed at all.
Yeah, you threw a little bit of Top Gun in it. So like a lot of video game movies in the 90s, this wasn't the best. The story was written by Kevin Droney and Chris Roberts, who wrote the game, obviously, but he's not I think from what I've seen of the game cinematics, they were better than what was on screen here.
I believe it.
I never even heard of the games.
Right. The game was done by 1997, but by the time you guys were out of diapers or even alive, the game.
I was 9. I was 11 when this came out.
I think there was only one of these that came out, 2 of these that came out, one on Super NES and one on Xbox, and that was at the tail end.
That had to be, because
the music I thought was very good. That was by David Arnold, who did the later James Bond movies.
I mean, the look of the films and like the CGI and the shit.
It was competent. It was just boring as fuck.
The CGI did give me Starship Trooper vibes.
Yeah, but I could work with it. Like
good,
right?
Starship Troopers is just a fun movie where this was just like boring, where
nothing happened.
Not only had fun, but it had all the
monsters,
the stuff. Not only the monsters, but they had the commercials and stuff in the back of it. Had the irony.
Oh, the ads.
Stuff like that's just that's Paul.
The cherry on top.
Yeah,
that's like his cherry. That's like his little cherry where he throws his own.
This almost seems like This almost seems like they wrote a scene, and then repeated it 5 times in the movie over and over and over again. We got the same scene.
It's like they were trying to copy Alien with some of the conversations on the ship. Like, we're going to have just like random conversations on a ship, where Alien pulls it off like so well, where it's like you're just so involved in these characters and you know what's going on and where that I just didn't care. And even though I do love Matthew Lillard, I've always been a big fan of his. And I do like Freddie Prinze too, because I grew up on I Know What You Did Last Summer. I grew up in the 90s. So
this movie made me think that too. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, man, those guys were the shit back then. Like, I used to see anything they were in. Yeah.
I even watched like She's All That. No, you know what I mean? It's like I supported these two, man, back in my day, because it was like I grew up with them. So this was just, one where it was like, I was like, oh, cool, man. These two together, heading it off. I was like, I'm in for it. And I was just like, I couldn't get into this one, man. I was sitting there thinking, yeah, this looks cool. That looks cool. Set designs weren't bad. Their space suits looked kind of cool.
Not bad. Everything technically looked really good.
If they had a good script, honestly, even if we didn't see the feline characters, I could have maybe let that go. especially after hearing the lawsuits and everything.
Right.
But if they would have just had anything where you had like some type of battle,
some gripping
like,
moment, bro, like
anything, man. Just,
I think
like
even
with
back then
Starship Troopers is like
maybe they said to
going
themselves,
in it.
"Ah, fuck it, it's a video game movie. Fuck it."
Yeah, but Starship. I mean,
did Super Mario Brothers have a plot? I guess it did a little bit. But
Mario Brothers. Yeah, the '90s one. Yeah,
The one with The Rock.
No,
Super Mario
the
Brothers.
John Leguizamo.
Oh, the
early
Mario. I thought you I thought you said Doom at first.
Yeah, Doom. Yeah.
Oh, Doom.
Did you
Doom was
like
a great video game movie. I actually love Doom. I think it's underrated.
Bad. The only thing I wasn't crazy. I mean, it was cool that they tried to do it, but they did all those. What is that? The first person shot.
Oh, but that was a cool homage, you know.
It was cool for them to try it, but it aged badly.
Right.
I guess I can understand that.
But I did like the cast because I think you had The Rock.
Carl Urban, our boy Carl Urban.
That was what I was gonna say, and I fucking love Dredd.
I
love me some Dredd.
I think the closest thing this movie comes to is the new Battlestar Galactica.
I was going to say that's what it
I'm talking about in the story. The Battlestar Galactica was a lot better. But I'm talking about that was a type of story, and it didn't even.
That was like the atmosphere I was noticing. I was going to say the same. Battlestar Galactica way better, but I understand.
Battlestar Galactica BSG is a 5, my man. So we got to be careful. I'm just saying, I'm scared me there. Love BSG.
Yeah,
so there you go.
I could be talking about the 1978 Battlestar Galactica.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe more like the 1978, which is a classic, by the way. Don't say a fucking word against it. All right. So, anyways, So I mean, they tried, but the story was all over the place. The love stories didn't go. The love story between Matthew Lillard and Rose was pretty good, but was underdeveloped. I mean, he really.
Yep.
And
that was probably the only moment in the movie where I cared about some shit.
They needed what's his name? Who's the captain in Starship Troopers?
Michael Ironside. I was going to say Michael Ironside should have been in this movie.
Arm.
Yeah.
What's his name? Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
I almost thought the captain in this was Michael Ironside makeup. I thought like for some reason he did something with him too. I was like, he kind of looks like Michael Ironside. They put him in this. That might have spruced it up.
Well, and maybe they should have had David Warner, who's the Admiral. The David Warner in the beginning. He's a great actor. Maybe he should have been in it more. Or maybe he should have been the captain.
He was good because I was getting Michael Ironside vibes from him.
I know
it just was so much talking, and it's like like you said, they're trying to do these relationships, and then they were just very underdeveloped, and it just like I just didn't know what the fuck they were trying to go for. Like, it was
right. Well, I mean,
no, really, it was like just a bunch of conversations that ultimately didn't really do anything. They didn't make us care about shit.
On their missions, it was like. I don't even understand.
We just saw the inside of the cockpit, bro. We didn't really see any aerial maneuver blast and shit. You know, like at one point they could have had at least one fight scene where it's like we saw some sort of spectacle.
Literally, I was like thinking, coming in this, I was like, man, I hope I don't look like an idiot. Like I was just like not paying attention because I was trying so hard.
Bro, you said you restarted the movie over? I did the same thing, thinking that I was like, man, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. No, I was paying attention. It was just pointless shit that like didn't connect.
Yeah, I watched it straight through.
I'm like, maybe I missed like something big in the beginning.
Well, I think
that's what I thought.
I think they couldn't. They could have went in the other direction instead of making it about some big. They could have made it where it was like just like relationships in space, young people relationship, but they didn't even go that route. Really.
They were like stuck in a limbo instead of like leaning towards one specific thing. Like, let's focus on the drama or the action of the space, or let's focus on the pilot's relationships.
I'm just guessing there wasn't enough story from the game to even make a script.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is,
if the creator was a cool idea.
If you go up online,
did this come out before Starship Troopers or after?
Before.
After. Because Starship Troopers was 97 or 98 at the latest.
Oh, was it after? Okay, maybe it was.
I feel like
the game might have came out.
Yeah. Well, if you go up online, if you go up on YouTube and you watch any, especially the later cinematic cutscene movies, because they got like an hour movie from the games with Mark Hamill. Those are better than this.
Yeah, 97 Starship came out, and 99 this came out. 99, man. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if this. And obviously, it cost $11 million, and it made what did it make? No, it grossed $11 million. It cost.
When did The Matrix come out?
$27 million, and it made 11. It was a bomb. And one more thing. This is all filmed in Luxembourg. So maybe that had something to do with it. Luxembourg's a little tiny country over by like overseas.
UK, right?
In the UK, right. Oh. So it was filmed probably on the cheap, and they pocketed all the money. Who knows?
I want to see what, because I know that I just was looking this up, and I think I saw that this came out around March of 99.
This was the second on-screen collaboration of Lil and Prince after She's All That.
Oh, they did? No, She's All That came out before this?
Yes.
Was that 98? Okay. Or 90? Was it 90? Huh.
I forget when that was.
The Matrix. I want to see if The Matrix came out before or after this, because
I think it was either 99. She's All That came out in 99 as well.
Did it? Okay. It had to be like after this, though.
Yeah, and Matrix came out a couple months after this.
After this?
I was watching a video on this, and they were like, man, they were talking about this like stop motion scene where they slow down. They were like, man. And they were like, there's not going to be a movie that does it way better that comes out in a couple months. And then it was like, The Matrix came out like 3 months later and did it 100 times better. So yeah, they came out same year, but this came out like literally a couple months after.
It says right here that a movie novelization came out after the movie, and it elaborates significant cuts removed a traitor subplot from the finished film, since it heavily involved unimpressive Karathi puppets. The Admiral was going to be the traitor. Yeah, so apparently a huge chunk of this movie wound up on the floor, and probably leads to the fact that it feels like it doesn't make any sense. So
I don't know. I still think it was like beyond like the editing with the script. Like there were scripting issues to begin with. Yeah. Well, it could have been just butchered shit, but
they removed a whole subplot from the finished film. And,
but at the end of the day, that means they took one piece of the pie, but the other pieces of the pie still weren't working. Like the relationships,
and obviously they knew that because the aliens looked like ass, and they didn't, and that's why when you see them, they're like quick and flat.
What was the budget?
The budget was $27 million, but it only made 11. I think the budget would probably be most of the space effects. As I said, the space effects were done pretty well.
We didn't really see any. I mean, it was decent. Yeah,
they had quite a few space effects. They've been flying around and shit like that, and some zapping and stuff.
It was mostly cockpit scenes.
Yeah, it was done okay, but once again, it didn't make too much sense.
It never got super fun. I want to say.
Yeah, it wasn't really that fun. It didn't really have a story.
No.
I think the effects were credible. The acting was okay for what they could do. I mean, they didn't have much of a story.
I was gonna say
they had some top-notch actors too. They just didn't have a story for anything for them to do.
Even the French dude, like he's usually really good in the shit I see him in. He was giving his all for this role. He's probably the best actor.
Jürgen Prochal, he's in a bunch of movies, and he's always good in movies.
But Lillard, because they've been great in other things. That's why I can't help. They were competent, they were decent in this shit, but I can't help but feel because they weren't popping off is because of the script. Like it's not their fault because I've seen them be great in other things.
Right.
Like Lillard. What was is it SCL Punk? You guys ever seen that one with him?
Yeah, with Matthew Lillard having blue hair.
Yes. Yeah. Like he's he's solid.
That's one of his like very indie films. He's super popular for.
Yeah.
They did a sequel to that too, and Machine Gun Kelly's in it.
Wait, is Lillard in it too?
I don't.
Or is it like a?
I don't.
Okay,
think
so. Okay.
I wish, because
So
I
it's like
kind of watched it at one point, but the first one's.
Let's get Matthew Lillard a career resurgence. He deserves it, bro. Like,
yeah, I love him, man.
Hey,
And
yeah.
he's like, I know he does like he does Comic Cons always because he's super. He's not been big in work lately, but he does those. I think obviously probably to keep some money coming in. And I always hear that he's just like the nicest guy, and like he's one of the guys. So I'll see this guy I follow, and he runs the horror cons. Like he's like one of the guys that like is a manager for Daryl, Matthew, Sydney, Jamie Lee, like a bunch of the Halloween guys. His name's Sean Clark, and he like literally he's super big for a lot of shit he did. Scarpad, you know that horrors hallowed ground on the Scream Factory Blu-rays? You ever heard of those? There's like a special feature Scream Factory would do. It's called Horrors Hallowed Grounds, where he would go to the sites of like classic film sets, like film locations years later, and he like created it. And he runs a lot of the cons. And I remember he was doing a lot of these videos, and he's like, "Yeah, the con closed 2 hours ago, and Matthew Lillard's still here signing autographs." They're like, he does, like, he won't leave. You know how a lot of people, they're like, I'm done. I signed up for 5 hours. I'm out. He's like, Matthew Lillard, I guess, is one of the guys. He's like, I'm signing. Everybody is going to get a chance to talk to me. And I'm going to, you know what I mean? He's like a good down to earth guy. And you know what I mean? He appreciates his fans, it looks like. And that's what I give a guy respect for that. Cause you know, a lot of these guys, they get it in their head and they're like, man,
they get big headed.
I'll catch you on the next one. It's like, man, I might not be able to catch the next one, you know. And a lot of people come out.
This might be their fans' only chance to get
sometimes, like, if I heard Matthew Lillard was in my town, I might come just because, like, I grew up on Scream, man, and I'd love to have my Scream 1 Steelbook signed by him and who's the other, Stu and Billy. I forget his real life. It's killing me.
Damn, I
know it too. Billy Loomis. What was his name?
Skeech.
Skeech, yes. I was just saying, thinking Reek for something.
But yeah, it's like, dude, I would love to go to the Comic-Con and get my Steelbook signed by all of them, man. Because like I don't like out in Cleveland, I feel like I never get any good cons, so it's like I'm just like
Michigan.
I want to go out to one someday, man. But they cost money, man. You gotta have like 50
most people charge 75 to 150 to get.
Like you pay $100 just to get in, and then you're paying hundreds just to get signatures. So sometimes I'm like,
it's a rich man's game.
It is, man. It is.
But back to this,
I wouldn't do it ever to sell the stuff. I would do it for my personal, you know.
Yeah, they never should allow. I
don't think so either.
People to come in with 20 books and sign these 20 copies. That should have never been allowed.
Yeah, especially
they've always done one thing, like maybe 3 things, and that's it.
Maybe a handful of 5, you know, at the most, or something like that. It's becoming too commercialized.
Yeah, I would love to have like Blu-ray signed by him and shit. I think that would be cool. Some people get like Funko Pops. Maybe a Neko signed would be cool if they had like a figure. But I feel like if I had my like Scream Steelbook signed, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I think that would look really cool. But then it would be like I gotta buy a second copy so I can have that one like
untouched.
Yeah. OCD.
It never ends.
I know. So getting back to Wing Command, I think if you're gonna make, back then this was like
Lillard's doing the Freddy.
This was about the end of the whole
the Freddy's Nightmare. I'm sorry, just Evan put that in the comment. So he did get a little career spark back. He's gonna be in the FNAF film, the Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Nights at Freddy's, yeah. So that's awesome that he's getting a little resurgence because I love him.
And just real quick, Freddie Prinze Jr. I guess he didn't really. Maybe he was like a fan, like I said, because he's done a lot of voice work. He got the girl. He married Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Had some kids with her.
Which one? The movie Buffy or the TV Buffy?
Sarah Michelle.
Either one is a win, but yeah, Sarah Michelle. Yeah,
yeah.
I would have taken Kirsty Swanson. What was it, Kirsty Swanson?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little older for him, but I always loved her, man. Really nice. And then the guy who died he played the love interest in that. Tom Petty, I think he was in Beverly Hills 90210. That I didn't
Luke
really
Perry.
ever-
Luke Perry.
I never grew
Tom
up
Petty was
on
a son.
the. I didn't grow up on the TV show. I grew up with the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, the one that came out in '92. It had with Donald Sutherland and Rutger Hauer as basically like the Dracula.
Well, he was good in that.
It was Luke Perry, not Tom Perry.
Yep.
Luke Perry.
David Arquette was in that bitch.
Yeah, David
Let me in,
Arquette.
man.
You had Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman.
Yo,
that
bro.
I love that one.
Yeah, you could get away with doing that. It's comedy, but it's
Thomas
also
Jane was in it too.
Who?
Yeah, Thomas
Jane.
What?
I don't know who he played in it, but it says he's in it. Plays Zeph.
I'm gonna have to watch that tonight.
I know, dude. I grew up loving that. That's why I never really got into the show. And now I'm like, am I too late to go back and watch?
No, you're never too late. That's it. Bro,
I'll have to check the show out because I heard that Vern's been watching it. He says it's good, so
it's good.
That and Angel too.
It's another one of these shows that has so many years to it that it's tough to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like
it would take some time. But I just thought maybe the effects don't hold up or something. You know,
it's got the heart and story. Like the ideas are, hold it up over. Like you care about what the characters and shit like that.
I
so
bought
you're like
this
you
with
can
the
overlook.
understanding that I'll probably never ever be able to watch it all, but
All right, see, you can't think of it like that because it's like the episodes are they're 1 hour released over 1 week periods, but we have the whole
they're like 40 minutes without commercials, so you can
I've binged that show a couple times.
You could probably get through a whole season in a couple days, probably. I would imagine.
See though, like you'll get so into Sam and Dean as characters and brothers, where it's like you just can't stop watching them.
That's Angel and Buffy. They're like an earlier version of Supernatural. It's like you can overlook the cheesiness and the things going on because the relationships are that good.
Hell yeah, dude! I'd love to own that box set. I'm sure that sucker cost you at least over 100, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like 130, I think. 140.
Have you ever seen it?
I saw the first 5 seasons of Supernatural.
Okay.
And I dropped off after that. But so if I start it, I'll probably start at season 5 or 6.
Yeah, they always recap it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it was starting to get a little not as good as it was. Like the first 3 years of that show, 4 years.
The first 3 were the best.
Fire.
But it was supposed to end on the first 3.
Right.
I think it was like once the apocalypse came, they were supposed to wrap it up there. I forget which season that was, but
yeah, that's back when CW never gave up.
No, like this season 3, Dean dies, and that's how it was supposed to end.
Right.
Oh. And then it was that it popped off. They're like, okay, they didn't know if anybody.
I'll stay on for a little while.
So then they brought it back, and then they died 20 more times and kept coming back.
You can tell after Kripke left that's when, even though it went on for like over 10 more years when he how many seasons did they have? 16?
15. He left at the end of season 5, I think. And then
so 10 years after he left, it still continued. So but
I think he did come back though. Didn't he come back for a short time?
Yeah,
I think for like the later seasons in a very diminished position.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't
I know we don't want to get back, but let's get back to Wing Commander here.
So, this movie we're talking about.
So I think and we're gonna wrap it up pretty quick. I knew this wouldn't take too long, but actually we've been doing 45 minutes on Wing Commander is not bad actually. But I think back then, all these video game movies were failing. Vast majority of them weren't great. You would make sure that you had a tight script. And these guys didn't. I mean, and I don't think
they take it seriously.
Yeah.
What? Even a cameo from Mark Hamill would have bolstered the already shit that it was.
Mark Hamill probably didn't want to fly down to Luxembourg to take the cameo.
He filmed Star Wars in fucking Tunisia, and he's familiar.
Yeah, but they weren't paying the Star Wars money, I don't think.
That's true. That is very true.
But yeah, so I mean, I overall, I appreciate the effects. I appreciate the look of the movie. It's just, and the characters and the acting aren't bad, but the script is kind of a mess, and it just never gels, never comes together, and because of that, it's just not one I'd probably be rewatching again. That's for sure. Not on my high list of '90s movies.
I've seen this. I saw this when I was younger. I won't be. Yeah, I don't think I'll be watching this one. Yeah, no time soon. I'll say that.
No. Oh shit! I didn't know Josh Whedon wrote the script for the Buffy movie that we were talking about, the '92 one.
Yeah. I think he wanted to direct it, but they didn't trust him since he was just like a screenwriter at the time. Yeah. So, but he like saved it and like revamped it for a show years later when he got more control.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even say I have a favorite character or a favorite scene really. I guess.
Yeah, I don't.
I guess they didn't develop any of the characters enough, like to make.
I do like Freddie Prinze and Matthew.
Yeah,
Lillard.
There's not much to the
and the Fridge too.
This movie. I mean, obviously, Matthew Lillard was going to be the Han Solo to Freddie Prinze's Luke Skywalker or whatever. They just didn't develop any of them. It was just other than the look and the music, which was okay for the movie. Overall, it was kind of a snoozer.
It was stronger than this movie deserved. The quality of this movie turned out to be.
I'm not even sure if I was a kid, it would hold my interest. Maybe the spaceships would. I don't know.
Spaceships were cool.
Yeah, you know what? I did see this when I was like around that time that came out. I don't remember like loving it, but I watched it as a kid. Because it had two actors I dug at the time, Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze. So I think kids they're way more forgiving than we are. They're not so critical. They just, if some shit kind of looks cool, they'll go with it. And this movie, it's got some competent enough like designs where it's like, the little Dragon Ball Z scouter they put over their eye or the monocle or whatever.
I thought that kind of, it didn't look like a Diddy thing though. It looks like it just kind of it was kind of that was kind of cheap. And even the ships were designed that they didn't look all that great. They look kind of like tin cans, kind of. They were kind of ugly looking. They kind of designs.
I would say they kind of reminded me of BSG, the remake.
A little bit, a little bit. But some of the bigger ships looked pretty good, and some of the bigger ship battles looked okay.
Yeah.
But Dylan's 100% right. I think if they had like Michael Ironside as a captain and he's barking orders on the bridge, that would have raised my whole thing a little bit,
A little bit at least.
He's got some gravitas.
Or rate the fucking thing on and put some titties in it or something else. Spice it up, baby. Spice it up. Do something. Spice it up. So anybody have anything else to say about this wonderful movie? Hey, I will say they can't all be
winners.
They all can't be winners. They all can't be.
They all can't be Total Recall.
They all can't be Total Recall. But you gotta you gotta have the bad with the good. You gotta review the bad. Yeah. You can't just say I'm gonna stop playing show 100%.
Just because it's one to check off the list, but
respect that Lillard and Prince because they were big at the time when they did this. And video games in Hollywood. Right. You're right. They were never been a hot commodity, so they took a chance on this. Like they're trying to strengthen the video game movie idea. So I respect them for that. Like that,
They
could easily done another.
They took the payday and got out of Dodge.
Lillard put a chance on another video game.
Five Nights at
Freddy's. So it's like, you know what I mean?
And I've never seen that. I've never seen that one.
That stuff.
Like a mobile game? I think it's a computer game too, but
it's both.
It's
like a horror mobile.
Since we have since we're not going to be picking favorite characters and favorite moments from this movie, probably. What's your favorite video game movie of the 90s?
You know what? It might be the first Mortal Kombat. I do think Annihilation gets a little too much hate. I'm fond of Annihilation.
Hold on. 90s.
Mortal Kombat had two
Annihilation. I thought you were talking about Annihilation, the other movie. Oh, Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah, that was the second one, 97.
Oh, okay.
That was 97. Yeah, 95 for the first one, and I believe, and then 97 for the sequel. All right, I do like the 90s Mario's brothers. I know it's nothing close to the game, but there's some, you got some great actors in that. Bob Hoskins, what's it, Dennis Hopper? as Bowser. Yeah.
That's wacky.
So it's fun for the wrong reasons. So bad it's so good.
Mine, without a doubt, is Mortal Kombat, the first one. That movie.
But my favorite is Street Fighter.
Oh, okay.
Mortal
Kombat with that fucking music. When I heard that, I want to go out and kill somebody.
Fight.
So I got the machine over here. That's a great movie. I love that fucking movie.
Yeah.
And didn't that with the first one have the guy from Highlander in it too? Was he the guy with the white hair?
He was Raiden.
Yeah,
Raiden. He played
Raiden from France.
But then you had what's his face? He's on a lot of shit. He's like Dexter's dad. He was Raiden in the second one.
Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. What do you think, Dylan? Favorite 90s?
Mine would definitely be Mortal Kombat as well. I fucking love Mortal Kombat and Annihilation
Sub-Zero.
So much when I was
bro.
Like literally, you didn't see any of the bad shit in those. Like when I was a kid, those were just like incredible. So much fun. Now when I watch them, I'm like, these are goofy.
I didn't care for Annihilation as much, but I thought the first one was great.
As a kid, I thought that was dope, bro.
I still liked Annihilation, but the first one is definitely the best. I didn't. Perry says, which speaking of Perry, where the hell you at, brother?
Right.
I do love Pokemon. The first movie, that was a good one, and 2000, both of those.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say if we're killing Pokemon, come on now.
The animation, I didn't know. Brainscan.
No, I agree with that.
It's not based off a video game, but it's like a video game movie about this guy, about Eddie Furlow, is like a big video gamer, and he gets sucked into this game that because he hears about it through a magazine and gets sent this like.
Was that the Wizard?
Game.
Was that the Wizard?
No, it has some weird guy in it. I don't think he's called the Wizard. It's called the Trickster.
Huh.
But this guy comes out of the game and shit, and I don't know. It's a good one, man. You'd have to watch it. It's called Brain Scan, but Mortal Kombat would be my favorite. Brain Scan's just like a one I would recommend you watching. It's an old classic horror film.
I thought Silent Hill wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that was 2006.
Oh, was it that way? Okay, nice.
Yeah.
How about?
I like Silent Hill.
When was the first? When was the first Resident Evil? Was that 97?
2002.
Really? It was
the movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like the first Resident Evil. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was solid. The first one was actually I enjoyed the first one.
After that, the first one was all right.
Yeah.
Plus, she was naked in it, so. Yeah. That's what's her face there.
Michelle Rodriguez helped that movie a lot too. She's always badass.
Yeah, she was good in that. Yeah.
I wish I would have watched Street Fighter when I was younger because I feel.
Oh yeah, bro. It's clowny now, but that's got some.
I watched that like I did with Mortal Kombat, but I was more into Mortal Kombat when I was a kid, so I kind of didn't see Street Fighter until I was like 12 or 13. So by then I was a little more cheesy.
Yeah. Way more cheesy. I mean, I
think Street Fighter is not even as good though. Anyways, as the Mortal Kombat when you were a kid. I don't know.
Oh, the games,
the movie,
or the movies. Oh no, they were. Yeah, no, Mortal Kombat was always cooler because you had the better music. Action scenes, the music,
and the music.
Bro, I always remember Sub-Zero fucking and Liu Kane's fight where he's like. He uses the fucking bucket and like sends the fucking because Sub-Zero's creating that fucking aura of freezing around him and it's dope shit. But yeah, Mortal Kombat is the better superior.
Backstage for a hot minute.
You know what? I will believe it because Scarpad.
He was not back there for a hot minute.
I've been back there this whole time.
No.
I was like 10 minutes late.
Perry,
no way.
Why
didn't you say anything in the chat?
Perry passed out.
Scarpad is terrible at checking that shit, bro. Because I had to hop in the chat and let him know yesterday. Like, you're on backstage.
He did say at 8:30. I've been backstage for 30 minutes.
I don't look down there, man. You gotta come on when you come on.
I don't know how you don't see like another box pop up. I always see that.
I'm deep in my whole thing.
Yeah, the conversation was good. I was just sitting here. I was just watching.
Damn, man.
So Perry, what did you think of the movie?
Oh, I fell asleep, dude. That shit was horrible. That shit was so bad.
That
I
says
will
it
say
all.
there was like pockets that was like really cool for a second, and then it just went away.
The ships and
Yeah.
stuff were cool.
Oh, the pockets. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it was. You didn't miss much. But go
Yeah.
ahead, tell us what you thought. What was your? That's it. You fell asleep.
As much as you
So
saw.
you know when they first landed on the ship, and then we first see the guy from Scream, like the first time we're seeing them, everything before that they could have just threw away.
Yeah.
That was all just a wasted introduction.
It was fluff.
Because everything
Yeah.
else after that explains everything that already happened.
Right.
So why are you
Yeah.
regurgitating what we just visually saw? It made no sense.
That was a lot of the rest of the movie. Like there was just conversations
Same scenes over and
rehashed
over
and
again,
yeah.
Yeah.
They filmed the same scene 4 times, saying the same thing 4 times.
Re-explain it, but just say this differently. I got it.
Well, you know, and maybe some of that makes sense because maybe they did that because they did pull out that entire subplot. A lot of it wound up on the floor, and they just threw the same scenes in there 15 different times.
Yeah.
It was
And
lazy.
The pilgrim thing was like a cool concept, but yeah, how lazy is that? Pilgrims
Never went
were
nowhere.
pilgrims.
Yeah.
Right.
There could have been like some cool
Yeah.
name you could have added on it, you know? I
Or
don't
why
know.
they're called pilgrims or some
Yeah.
shit, you know? Like we didn't get any origin this to or back. You know, yeah, there's just a lot of missing from this movie. Like context to some shit that would have made us care about what was going on is very
I'd rather watch
it was
Kingdom
one
of the
of-
Spiders.
Well,
Again.
King of the Spiders, no
Ooh,
comparison.
I don't know about
That's
that.
a 5-star right
At least
there.
I stayed awake
They're
for
not
that.
even on the same level. They're not even on the same level, Kingdom of the Spiders. Not even close. Not even
Shatner
close.
does have a good, decent
Shatner-
performance. I'll give
Shatner
him
has
that.
a great performance. You had spiders getting killed. It was just
Stepping on him and shit.
It was just a so much better movie. So, but that's not where we are. So Perry, you were awake for it because I know you were like you ate like a whole marijuana cake or something.
Yeah, I got like a whole bag of brownies.
You
So
ate the whole thing, huh?
I ate most of them.
So
Yeah, it was a good time with Burger King.
Mm.
That's how I spent my day.
Would
Woke
you-
up, I was like, oh, I'm late to Scarpad show.
and your mom's fine with that? I mean, doing that around the house?
Yeah, she allows it every now and then, you know, as long as it's not excessive.
Not
It's
every
not
day.
stinking up the house. you
Not
know?
allowed every day.
Yeah, you know.
That's cool. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and rate this. Perry doesn't have anything more to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was there was cool scenes. Like there was like I said, like pockets of like really cool things happening. And like
Not
even like some of
really.
the dialogue. Like there was like good dialogue at like certain points. Like when they first walked in, he's like, I'll show you how to make friends. And like he just commanded that room real
Right.
quick. And it was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, this is actually like a good scene.
But
And then
it
it
went
just
nowhere.
ended. Yeah.
And like
Show
you
you
said,
how
the
to
best
make friends.
romance
And
wasn't even
scene
there.
end.
Yeah, and, I don't know, and that didn't really make a whole heck of a lot. You know that scene where his
I could make a
girlfriend
better movie with
Matthew-
the phaser.
Are you
right?
gonna phaser?
when Matthew Lillard's girlfriend
Isn't it fun?
crashes on the deck and they just push it off. I could swear I saw that in some
Only
other
had a little
movie.
ring so I could do the Western thing and spring it around my finger. Then it was
All
really-
right.
Tonight I'm sporting,
Dude, did you get a new one?
Tonight I'm sporting the original pilot Star Trek
He added a
pilot
silencer to it.
episode Laser, not Phaser. From
I was gonna say, damn, you
the
got
original
attachment
pilot
for it?
episode.
He like attach it, screws it on and
except
shit.
the
Like,
batteries are fucking dead. I couldn't
It
get
looks
out
like
without
there's a
screwdriver.
cap on the front and it comes off and it's a fleshlight.
It does,
You know?
That would make sense.
Hold
Yeah,
on the trigger
that-
and it goes back and forth.
Not another phase and the thing wouldn't work, and they got this big one.
Does
All
it
your
light up?
phasers don't work.
Oh, the other one doesn't.
Yeah, I need the batteries. But yeah, this is good. All right, well, for this, my lasers, I'm going to give it 2 lasers, because
That's
the
generous.
special effects were decent, but the rest of it was lacking. So 2 for the actors and the special effects. We dig Dylan.
I give it a 1.5 just for the
Wow.
practical effects and the cool, and the ships looked pretty cool. I thought some of the practical looking ships, the model ships were really cool looking. and so the space scenes looked good, but that was really about it. All like the dialogue and shit, I was kind of like not really there for. I mean, Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze are pretty cool, but it was just boring. A lot of just talking, and there just should have been a lot more action. That's why Starship was awesome, because at least they were just killing a bunch of bugs and doing cool badass shit, where this was just like the complete opposite. So cool practical effects. So I thought they held up for,
Plus, don't forget Starship Troopers had some shower scenes in it too.
Yeah, if this had like some cool, at least some tits, I would have bumped it up to a 2. If it had just
No
like
wing commander
cool action scenes,
did you notice
lacking on any action scenes? It was just boring.
In every Paul Verhoeven movie, RoboCop and Starship Troopers, they have shower scenes with men and women taking showers together.
Yeah, right. What happened to co-ed?
That happened in every one of his
awesome,
movies.
Dude.
It was the
Imagine that in
future.
high school.
Oh, so you give it a 1.5 phases. What do you think, Link?
I think I'm being nice with a 1.5.
What do you give it, Link?
A 1.
That's generous. I will.
I think it might even be a 1 for real.
I'll be generous as well. I'll give it a 2. I'm being generous.
Real generous, bro.
One star for Matthew Lillard. 1 star for Freddie Prinze Jr. And
all right, I'll give you that.
That's it. But
I do love both of them. I love both those guys.
Yeah, and I remember when I saw this movie as a kid, like that's why I saw it, because I was like, oh, I like those guys. Not She's All That, but Scream and
Shaggy and Fred right there.
This came out, but when did I Know What You Did Last Summer? Was that 97, 98? Or was that 99?
I think it was 99.
That might be 2000.
Well, that's why I think they stuck their faces on the poster because they were selling the movie on the
those are actors. Yeah.
97 and then 97 for the first one.
Okay. And then 99 for the sequel.
I'm guessing the second
one's 98.
99.
90, oh wow, they turned that.
Oh, 97 and 98. Wow, they came back to
back.
I like both of those.
They were
Perry. But no, I will say, it's got, like Perry said, pockets of shit that's decent, but it just never goes anywhere. It's pockets of shit.
Pockets of shit.
Pockets.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1. I'm gonna give it a solid 1. Because there was a couple cool things like when you first
hold on, wait a minute, Perry, where's your phaser,
Perry?
I know I had it somewhere.
Perry was fried on. Perry was fried on edibles in Burger King, and he still thought it was dog.
Perry, you lost your phaser, man.
I don't know where I put it.
You gotta go backstage for 10 minutes. Hold on.
I 1 is fair, 1.5 is fair, but the fact that I've seen movies such as Bloodsucking Freaks and Burial Ground and stuff,
those movies are so much
good conscience.
Bloodsucking Freaks knows that it's terrible though, and it's like it's just making fun of shit.
And Burial Ground knows
it's trying to be serious.
But it had Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze. That's yesterday.
Yeah, dude,
Bruce Campbell.
I look at it this way.
And the Screaming Bird.
I look at it this way. There's got to be a reason why this movie's on fucking no streaming services.
Literally, they're trying to hide this from the world.
Is Bloodsucking Freaks or Burial Ground?
In the world.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, you can get Burial Grounds on Amazon. And I think Bloodsucking Freaks is too.
Yeah.
It's on Tubi.
Oh, no way.
And you can get a Blu-ray of Bloodsucking Freaks. Yeah, and you're about to be able to get a 4K Burial Ground.
That's because you guys bought all those damn copies. If you guys start buying some Wing Commander DVDs, watch what happens.
No, the Burial Ground is a masterpiece.
Buy some Wing Commander DVDs, watch what happens.
I'm not paying $50 for Wing Commander DVD.
I don't care if it comes out with a fucking spinning fucking Matthew Lillard in that case. I don't care. So you give it a 1, Perry?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 1. It just I just didn't
so let's
like
see.
it.
1, 2.
When they went through that crack in space time, that was pretty cool. But you know who did it way better?
More cool points than any of us, and you gave it the lowest.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a couple cool points, but like,
well, that's because he was stoned to the bejesus. He thought this movie's fucking awesome. That sucks.
Yeah, we're just turning the movie into asshole. Awesome. He's like, what is?
Yeah. Oh no! This morning I watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's a great movie.
But
that was amazing.
Watch the original British show; it's better.
There's a TV show on it too.
Yeah, it came out as a TV show first.
Oh wow, I thought it was a British movie.
The TV show is kind of like early Doctor Who level effects and stuff, but it's still a good.
And it doesn't have Sam Rockwell. So
no, it doesn't. But the TV show I thought was better. But the movie was all right.
I love the movie.
And the books are great. If you haven't read those books, read those books. They're hilarious.
I'll listen to the books.
Oh, you can listen to them.
No,
can you read? You can't read?
No, reading.
You know, reading is fundamental. You know, you can learn that. It's never too late to learn. You know?
Actually, I'm starting this.
Stephen King's The Shining.
Yeah.
That looks pretty.
Is that
thin.
VHS?
No, it's the book.
And that's a real paper book
Looks
too.
like
Holy
a
shit!
VHS.
Holy crap! Real paper book.
Don't use the papers to roll J's, bro.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Don't
Bible papers.
this chapter-
The pages are thinner.
That ink will fuck you up, man. Don't do it.
No, it's a bomb.
It's real experience.
Start to hallucinate.
So we're gonna say that we're gonna split the difference. It goes up to a 5. That would give this movie a 2.5, which is way too much for it. So I'm gonna knock it down. I'm gonna take a
2.5.
Yeah, because if you go
You're mad.
1, 2, and 3, that's a 5 average from all of us. Cut it in half. It's 2.5.
What? What are you talking
Is that how
about?
you do like
Dylan,
mean
do your
media
math.
mode?
Bro,
Real quick. Yeah.
if I get 1, 2, 1, 5, 2, bro, you're at like a freaking 1.5.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you didn't let me get to it. It's gonna be a
1
it's
plus
gonna be a
1.5.
1.75.
Nah. It's
1.75
like a
phases.
1.
Some verifier,
One,
man.
Don't you
three.
add it all up and
Two
divide by
gun.
4?
Where are you
I
at,
usually
2
do.
gun? Give me the math.
2 guns.
He's
That's
watching
called-
Rise
that's
right
Yeah,
now.
2 guns
right?
out at the movies, so he didn't come tonight. I can't blame him.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I
that
should've
Marvel
went to
movie's off.
Yo, bro, he enjoyed his movie. And here we are watching Wing Commander.
Right.
Hey, they can't all be bangers, but the lovely
1.6.
company I get to spend with
All
the
right,
4 of you guys.
1.6.
1.6.
Okay, that's
What is
That's
it,
I hate to fair.
1.666?
Which I still say 1.3.
One. What's in
All right,
one?
fine,
It's in
1.5.
one.
You see by Jean-Claude Van Damme doing a split.
I think you just like that angle for the crotch.
It's a crouchy angle.
You got a quick zoomed in crotch shot.
I knew you'd probably do some sick shit with that.
What do you use to hit the gong?
Oh, sniff test.
Sniff that gong.
What's it smell like?
Bang a gong, get it on.
Mm.
All right, so
From
that's
under cheese.
well, that's gonna end this lovely show.
Great
So
movie.
hey, you know what we got coming up in May? Better movies.
I
than
don't.
this.
No, I hope.
I know the
I
first one. That's all.
All right, coming up in May, May 1st, which is next week.
Damn.
A week from now. Imagine that next Monday
It's
is
the
May
first.
1st.
Holy shit.
And we will be doing
It's the
12
first.
Monkeys. 12 Monkeys, Terry
12
Gilliam,
monkeys.
Bruce Willis,
Okay.
who's no longer doing movies.
Brad Pitt.
And we're doing that for Evan because it's Evan's favorite film. And I love 12 Monkeys, so we're going to talk about some 12 Monkeys. Week after that, we're going to do a movie that probably none of you have seen. I only saw it once. I was pretty impressed by this movie. Some of you may have watched it already. A movie called Vesper that came out in 2022.
Oh, I haven't
What's
seen it yet.
it about?
It's you got to watch. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. You watch it.
I might have seen it though, because it's like one of those movies where I think people.
It's a post-apocalyptic type movie that's a little like The Last of Us without the monsters, kind of, sort of. But you'll see it. And I enjoyed it, and it's a one that we haven't seen for the month. So Vesper is on 5/8, 5/15. We're going to do 1981's Outland with Sean Connery, and you're going to see some alien influence there. And then, well, we're going to do Aliens influence 5/22. We're doing Aliens.
Oh,
Second one.
Covenant.
James
just
Cameron's Aliens
Did we-
on
Nice.
5/22.
Did we do Alien first?
We have not done Alien yet. I'm skipping ahead. I'm doing Aliens.
Action
my
month.
list because I fucking love Aliens.
and,
Go
and,
back
and,
to
and,
Barry.
and as we stated on the other show I did, they're totally different movies, I think. You don't have to do the first one first. So Aliens, 5/22. And there is no show on 5/29 because that's Memorial Day. Go out and fucking have a picnic, you degenerate bastards. Get off the computer. So
Yeah, May 1st is 12 Monkeys, Evan.
I gotta touch
So-
grass. No.
so yeah,
Next,
that's,
next,
yes,
next
you
week.
gotta do more than just fucking smoke it. You gotta touch it.
Hey,
So-
hey, yesterday I went out and sat by the river and I wrote for like an hour. So I got my touch of nature for the month.
What did you write? I will not kill. I will not kill. I will not kill. Is that what you wrote over and over?
Pretty
again?
much.
Whatever it works.
In a haiku format.
All work, no play makes Harry a dull boy. Did you leave it on your mom's counter?
Yeah. Mom's gonna read that. I'd be upset with you.
Yeah. Don't want to get her mad.
Hey, he's like Chris Farley. I was down by the river writing
I was
a
down.
book.
Yeah. So that's it for this show. I hope you enjoyed it. The movie sucked, but we had a good time doing it. And we'll be out of here before Robbie does his Rocky franchise at 9 o'clock. That's where he's doing it at 9 o'clock. So go over there and jump on the Rocky franchise. Here we have coming up next Saturday. What do you have, Dylan, coming up next Saturday? It's a twofer, I think, isn't it?
The Dentist 1 and 2, directed by Brian Yuzna.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm sure we'll be all taking some Novocaine and some laughing medicine like Dennis Hopper in that fucking Blue Velvet movie, which we gotta do sometime at some point.
He's
Thanks,
like,
Dylan.
I'm 34, I'm divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
And I'd like to thank Dylan for that copyright strike. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.
That was me. That was someone reenacting.
Uh-huh,
That wasn't
right.
legit.
All right, and then next Monday, come back here. We'll be doing the brand new month of May for 12 Monkeys. You guys got anything? Perry, you do anything video game related over the next week?
I
you're
just-
gonna be stoned the whole fucking week.
Oh, I just uploaded a 10-hour video
Oh,
of
good God.
me, of me
A
playing
10-hour
God of War. They demonetized it for a 7-second audio clip. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It took 15 hours to upload.
A 7-minute audio, 7-second audio clip of what?
The
Some
game?
orchestra playing in the middle of the game. Yeah, some background music. I was like, no. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm gonna find some random game to play this week. I don't know. Oh, this one right here. It's like a horror game.
I heard
Alan
good things
Wake,
about
that's
that
the
one.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty good game, man.
great game.
So I figured I'd try that out. See what it's about.
Perry's really going. His cabinet's gonna bust over and fall on him with all those video games.
Well, once I beat the
Games are
shitty
He's got
ones, I'm
some
just
this
gonna get rid
way.
of
He's got some this way. He's got some that way. Some down here.
them. I hope it doesn't fall.
Dylan's yours don't look bad. Don't worry about it. Yours look fine. All right, so we catch you guys. Thank you guys all for coming. Thank you, Dylan. I know you're sick. You're not feeling well. You're here. Thank you, Link. Thank you,
That's
Perry. Sorry I left you in hell. For
No, I enjoyed it. It felt
52
good.
minutes, but I'm glad you enjoyed the show.
I felt
And
like a
feel free-
celebrity. You know, like when people
yeah,
are on
in the
stage
green room.
performing
Yeah.
and they're standing behind the curtain watching. That's
It's
what I
kinda
felt like.
It's kind of like on Johnny Carson when Johnny had the guest. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we ran out of time. We'll bring him back at a future date." And they never did. But someday we'll get Perry to come back and talk more about the movies. Maybe a better movie.
He showed up though. He showed up. He
showed
kept us
up.
where he
He showed up and he stayed in the background. But hey, next time maybe somebody might say to me, "Hey, there's fucking somebody down there." You guys all yelling at me. You didn't say
can't
nothing.
see if somebody's down there.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, you saw in the chat.
Thank God I looked at the chat on your stream.
See, now if I was streaming it to you, yeah, you still wouldn't fucking. I don't know.
No, because how did Verno get into the damn stream yesterday? Because I
don't
saw
know.
it.
I
Oh,
just gotta
that's
be
right.
on
You
time.
did see it. Oh, you do see it. Oh.
I had to
Yeah.
check the chat. No, well, you said that was streaming on my thing. But yeah, I had to look at the comments on your channel.
We'll work on that. Hey, at least I hit the light. Oh, fuck.
I lost file.
No, I won't bust it there. All right, we'll catch you guys next week. Thank you for coming on. Thanks everybody for joining us. And maybe an Evil Dead Rise sometime later in the week, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking Thursday or Friday. I think it'll probably be Thursday. Maybe
Evil
Thursday
Dead
or Friday.
erected.
I'd go see
That's not like this movie. This is